Hey everyone, welcome to Girl Educate Yourself. I'm Angela Fazio.
And I'm Kristen Cantrell, and today we are going to learn from Heather Pilcher.
Yes, I'm really excited. I love this topic. It's about open houses. And so she's going to give us three main areas to think about to have success when you're sitting open houses. So weather. I was going to say welcome, Heather. So I said weather. Weather, Heather. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me on.
I'm excited. Give us a little background before you get into your topic.
Yeah, so I have been licensed as an agent for about 2.5 years. And so I love open houses because regardless of how much experience you can start from the very beginning and then continue them through your whole career. So about a third of my business, my first year, was from open houses, and that was during 2020, which was the year of COVID. So if I can have success during COVID shutdowns with open houses, I think you can do it in any market at any time.
Wow,
that's right. Truth. Strong comment.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to just dive in? We'll start talking about open houses.
Yeah, give us your tips.
Okay, so I want to give you guys a couple of just very specific tips to have success, because some people look at open houses and think, how is this going to be productive? So the whole point is that you're out there to be available and pick up clients who do not have an agent yet. So they might be people from out of town that are just stopping through. They might be local people. I mean, you get all types of different clients that will come through an open house. So my first tip is to be strategic and choose the price range that you want to focus on. At first, maybe just start hosting them however you can get them, whether your listings or reaching out to agents at your office or agents that you're friends with to get open houses on their listings. Because as a new agent, you might not have very many listings. So you can always reach out to other people. But so choose your target price range. And what I mean by that is depending on your market, you're going to have an average sales price. And so say in the Northern Kentucky market, it's $230,000 right now. So if you're focusing on first-time home buyer price point, you're probably only going to get buyers who are doing one transaction, which is great, and you'll love those. If you can be more strategic about it, if you focus on a second-time home buying price point, you can get the purchase and a listing. So the people that need to sell a house and then also buy. So for me, I really tried to focus on like the $300,000 price point for us, because I get buyers that are looking $300,000 to $400,000, and then listings that are around $200,000, and those are going lightning fast right now. So they're great listings to have.
That's a great point.
Yeah, and stick on that point for just a minute, because a lot of agents over my 21 years have said, I want to bust into the luxury market. What's the secret sauce? I'm like, I don't know, go sit in an open house that's in the luxury market, because you Absolutely. Can sit at a house, let's say, let's sit for $1 million, let's just say. And somebody will walk in and be like, oh my God, this house is so beautiful. I can't afford it. And I'll be like, well, what can you afford? And they're like, I can only afford 600. Well, I think we can help you, So that's an excellent way to up your price point too.
Yes,
absolutely. And it's nice, in my opinion, to work with buyers at the higher price point, because they usually have more options than buyers that are shopping at a lower price point. So you can kind of not be as frantic and crazy as being in multiple offers against 20 other people. So there's definitely benefits, and absolutely, like you said, kind of choose where you want to focus, or just take whatever you can get to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, what is your second tip?
Yeah, so I always think of open houses with an analogy to fishing. My husband loves fishing. We went fishing in Alaska a couple of years ago because he had worked up there for a summer. And so I think about open houses. If you are going to fish in Alaska, you're probably going to get salmon or halibut or those kinds of fish, right?
If you're fishing, we're going to be eating salmon in a couple of hours.
That's awesome. And if you fish in the Ohio River, you're probably going to catch a Loch Ness monster. Depends on where you're fishing, right? So just because you go sit on a boat in the water or go sit on the riverbank doesn't mean that every single time you catch a fish, you're going to catch something that day. Maybe you're going to have to wait a couple hours before you get one. But the point is, if you go put the time in out on the lake or in the ocean fishing, you are going to catch fish. And the same thing is with open houses. If I host 1 hour open house and I get one client that results in, a $7,000 paycheck, 1 hour of my time to get that is phenomenal, as opposed to doing a ton of money into lead generation methods, trying to get buyers that are semi-warm. these types of people that are coming through open houses are usually warm or hot leads. Like they're ready to buy soon. They've got their hand up saying, yeah, we're looking at houses. So
yeah. And
spend
also,
time.
how long did you do open houses? She did them forever.
Yes. We used to do it from the time that the seller would let us in until it got dark. If they would stay away that long, we would do it that long. Because in our minds, if we're full-time people, if we're working 40 hours, let's say we set 40 hours in an open house every single week, and I only got one lead that resulted in a $7,000 check, I just made $7,000 a month in a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
That's great perspective.
Absolutely. And if you're hosting 2 open houses every weekend for 4 weekends, you know, it's just the same thing with any kind of lead generation. The more time you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. So if you get 4 new buyers a month times 7,000, say, you know, you can really scale pretty quick that way.
What does Tia say? The person that gets in front of the most people wins. It's like as simple as that.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
It's just math.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, the next tip I'm going to give you is that when people come to the open house, don't be awkward. Like, you want to be their very best friend, right? Make them feel comfortable. Before I became an agent, I would go to some open houses. You walk in and it's super, like, you don't know whether you're supposed to talk to them, if there are sharks that are going to jump on you. So what I do is when I see people come, I mean, you can see them out parking in the driveway, right? So I just open the door as they're coming up and I say, hey, welcome to the open house. Come on in. I'm Heather. And I kind of walk with them and kind of lead them into the house so that it's not just like, okay, well, let me know if you have any questions, and let them wander in the awkward silence with the floors creaking and you're listening to them, right? So
I'm like, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Someone, gosh dang it.
Yeah. So the whole point of hosting the open house is you want to pick up clients and you want to help them buy and sell real estate, right? So when they come in, one of the first things I ask is, hey, so how did you hear about the open house? Mm-hmm. That's going to tell me a lot of things. A lot of people will say, if they don't have an agent, they're going to say, I saw it on Zillow or realtor.com or Trulia, whatever they saw it. Or if they just saw signs that they're neighbors and they wanted to come check it out. So that will give me a little bit of information. If they say our agent sent it to us so we could just stop in while it was open, I'm like, okay, they do have an agent already. Not that you immediately stop talking to them, right? Because there still might be an opportunity to win their business.
That'd be funny. Give them the hand and walk away.
Okay. Yeah. So if they do have an agent and they're pretty adamant that they're all set, then I'll just say, okay, awesome. If you need the property condition report or any details, your agent can access the MLS, and then I'm sure they'd be happy to send those details to you. And then, you know, let them have some space and keep going. But so if they say, I heard about it on Zillow, I'll say, awesome. Are you hitting a few open houses today? They might say, no, just this one, or yeah, there's a couple. And I'll say, awesome. So are there any other houses that are not being held open today that you would love to see? And that's like a great opportunity to kind of step in, because a lot of times we're like, yeah, actually there's these 2 houses that we were looking at. And another tip is I always leave some time open after the open house where I can say, hey, I'm going to be at the open house for another half an hour. If you want to text me the 2 houses you want to see, I'll schedule the showings and we can go right after this as long as they get approved. And so that's like an instant transition. And if I can do that back to back, stay with them and go through the houses with them, it's pretty much 100% conversion that they're clients. So just staying in front of them and keeping that conversation open. Another thing is agents will sometimes have a sign-in sheet, and I never do that. I want to get their information right in my phone. So I'll say, okay, let me get your name and phone number, your email here, and then I will text them immediately. And what I'll do is in my phone, I have my name saved as like Heather Pilcher, real estate agent, realtor, with my phone number, email, social media, website.
Your contact card is on point. It is.
Yeah, and having a picture on there so that they can just save that. So instead of like not saving my number or having me as some realtor, it's got all of my information. And I put my name with realtor and real estate agent, just like with a little slash between it, because sometimes people will forget what my name was, but they can look like, oh, what was that realtor's name? And it'll come up in their contacts. So I send that immediately to just try and be permanently planted in their life as their real estate agent and to be able to help them moving forward.
Oh, wait, where's my hand? I want to change everyone's life real quick too. So I have an app and it's called Blink, BLINQ. And it's a QR code. So when I'm talking to people and we start conversing, I'm like, okay, get your camera out. I'm like, scan this. I do it for them. I click on the little like thing that comes up and then my number pops up on their phone and I hit it for them. And it all of a sudden my information gets into their phone and then I get an email with their name, their phone number, and their email address. And I'm like, that is open house gold.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
So BLINQ.
And there are all kinds of open house apps, like KV Core has that app,
Oh,
or
I
if you
know.
put their information in there, it
Goes
goes straight into your system. It sparks a campaign. It groups them. They think you're a superstar, following up right away. There's so many cool things you can do with open house, as long as you get the conversation going.
Yep.
Exactly. You want to be their best friend.
Yes.
I love it. Well, those are some pretty solid tips. So thank you so much for sharing those with us.
Yes. And remember what she said in the beginning, if you're brand new, all the way to super experienced, open houses will work through the longevity of your career.
100%.
Well, thank you, Heather. That was awesome.
Yep. Thank you, guys.